Hey, what's happening, you guys? Credit D Will here from Sweetwater, and I am super excited because Baby Audio is releasing a new plugin called Transit, and they tag team with one of my favorite YouTube producers, content creators. The guy does it all, Mr. Andrew Huang himself. So I had the opportunity to sit down with him. He went over some of the features, so we're going to check that out. If you guys want to subscribe to his channel, then check out the links in the description. And if you guys want to get your hands on this new plugin, then check out the link in the description or go over to sweetwater.com where you can find it there. And you guys already know what's up. Let's dive in and let's get creative. So, Andrew, bro, man, you are coming out with a new plugin from Baby Audio. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, when I was messing with this thing, I was super excited. So thank you so much for taking the time to even sit with me and chop it up with me about this plugin, bro. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and do your thing and show us what's up with this new plugin, man.
For sure. Yeah. Thank you for having me. I'm so pumped to be sharing this with people finally. Baby Audio and I've been working on this for about a year and a half. Oh, wow. I had the idea for it like a couple years before that even. So it's a big moment to have it out in the world now. And I'll just show you how it works. So it's called Transit, and we designed it for making transitions in songs where you're trying to like do these buildups or like, just making things exciting as you go from one section to another, which I find is usually time consuming. There's a lot of automation lanes, a lot of different plugins you're hopping between, trying stuff out. And we thought there would be a smoother workflow for that. And then I'll show you later too, there's so many other really cool use cases that we didn't even think about when we were starting to work on this. But I'll start with the intended use case, the transitions. So you got these 7 slots where you can load an effect into each one. There's 18 different effects to choose from. I'll go with the delay first. I guess you can hear my track without it. Talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Here's the demo. We could turn on an effect like this and apply just standard delay to the whole mix. Talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. But the thing that is really at the heart of Transit is that every parameter has one of these buttons, which means now it's connected to this macro control. So you can see as I move this, inside each of those knobs, there's this little black dot moving. Mm-hmm. So you can actually set your start and end value for any of the parameters that you're connecting to the macro. So I'm going to keep the length fixed here, so it's off for the macro there. But we can have the feedback go from low to high. We can have the mix go from low to high. Have the tone go from, maybe we'll start at like normal in the middle and it'll get darker. So you can see this one turned pink because it's going backwards now. And so as I turn this, it's controlling all those parameters at the same time.
Oh, wow.
With 7 different effect slots, you can really get extreme with this. And like, here's another one that's already automated in the track. So this one's going up at the end of this little section. Right. So, creating these transitions where you want like delay echoes or a reverb washout. You could do risers, you could do fallers. There's like all these streamlined workflows for creating these transitions while still keeping it really flexible and powerful. So like, here's another example. This instance. Wanna be a part of something more than this. I've lost control of it. I've lost control. So here, we're filtering it down, a little distortion, a little reverb, OTT to squash it. And then there's also like this pump effect. So like doing a kind of quarter note sidechain thing. So there's so many possibilities with this. You could put it on your full mix. You could put it on individual channels. Like if I turn this one off, could see what it's like on just the vocal here. Let's pick. There's one preset I really like here called Lost in the Sauce. And I wanna be a part of something more than this. I've lost control of it. I've lost control. So like, when you are able to move, whatever it is, 10, 12 different parameters all at the same time, you can just create such dynamic change in your mix. And then, it's so much faster than doing transitions the typical way with lots of different lanes and plugins, because if you want to use this same transition in another part of your song, you just automate this one knob again. You could change the length of it. All of that is so much faster than doing all the like copying and pasting or like revisiting every automation you did to fine tune it. So that's the transitions use case.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a few things that add to that. Like I've got this extra track up here where this is just transit as a noise generator.
Ooh.
And I put that at the top of my track. And so you can see there's a noise generator here. We're sweeping the cutoff down. Resonance is going down. The gain is going up. There's a lot of stuff happening here after too, like some effects on this, but it just creates this, this kind of noise stab effect. And, it's really flexible how you can adjust that. And then similarly here, this track, I put a riser, that there's this oscillator module. So here where this is climbing, the transition automation,
mm-hmm.
You get this kind of classic riser. You can choose different waveforms, adjust the start and end pitch, all this kind of stuff to just make these really common transition moves possible. And so when we put it all together with the noise impact at the start, this riser at the end, and the main full mix having the automation for the transition at the end, we get. Talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Wanna be a part of something more than this. I lost control. Talking to myself and I can't focus.
That is fire, bro. That is dope.
Yeah. So that's the gist of it. But there's so much other stuff, right? Like on this sound, I just got a basic chord going. And, I'm using 3 different transits here just as static effects. So the first one, I put this pitch shift on, which I'm actually just using with a little bit of LFO on it to give kind of a vibrato sound. And, I'll turn off the group instance of transit here. But, yeah, and then on the next one, this one is, the reason why it's a separate instance is because here I'm using this sequencer mode. So there's the transition control, but you click these 2 arrows and you get the sequencer, the motion sequencer, we're calling it. So you can set however long you want your transition to be and then hit play and it'll do the transition. So this is like, we designed it for live use. If you have a transition set up, maybe you have like 10 different transits in your project. You got a 4-bar filter sweep, 2-bar filter sweep, 1-bar riser, like whatever you want to put in there, and which ones are mapped with MIDI to a controller, and you can just right before that bar, it's synced to the next bar. So you hit play and it does that transition. But then we found out, if we include this looping feature here, then this could be like a modulation source. So on this sound, it's like turning this reverb up and down. It's turning this filter up and down, just adding all this extra movement to this sound. So like, again, the dry one's like this.
Oh, wow. That's
really
dope.
plain. And then I put a third one on here just as like an extra little bit of, we've got OTT in here, so you can just have that on. And I wanted that to be static. So it's just like, having an extra bit of effects there. But yeah, it's really useful, really fun as a static effect or as a modulation effect too. I'll demo this next use case on the drums. If we open up this lock screen, you get this whole overlay that shows you every slot and every parameter's lock status. So that means if it's unlocked, it can be randomized. If it's locked, then it's not going to change when you randomize the plugin. Like I will have all these top 3 modules unlocked and we'll have the rest down here locked. So these aren't going to change. And then the parameters too can be independently locked, and you can even set the range of the randomization. Yeah. So if I unclick this and hit the dice, you can see it's just like randomizing all the parts that I didn't lock, like even which effect is selected on some of these slots. So if I turn this up and play this drum track. you can just like
that's crazy,
scroll
bro.
around, you know, quickly find like some weird vibe if you want for a section of your song, or like maybe it's like the main effect that's going to be on a part. Like, I don't know what's happening there, but that's cool.
Dope. I was about to say, yeah.
Because like if I turn this off, this is the dry drum loop. So, you know,
yeah,
like it's solid, but yeah, just adding a little bit of sauce with this can go a long way. And there's also a dry wet mix here. So if you find something like a little bit ridiculous, but you can just dial it back, you know. That actually leads me to one final thing that I'll show is there's a whole other type of transition you can do, because with this dry wet mix and the motion sequencer, if I set it to something really short, like yeah, we'll do a quarter note and I'll load up like a reverb wash thing. So this is on the full mix. Like really spaces it out.
Yeah.
But if I put it on motion and loop it, it does this like pumping reverb thing, which is a little intense. But now if I fade it in with the dry wet, like a whole other type of transition can happen with that, right? So yeah, like this is stuff that we just discovered as we were making the plugin. We're like, wait, it can do this too. So we've been having a lot of fun with it. I think I just ran you through like the basics. But yeah, as you can see, pretty powerful, pretty fun stuff.
Yeah, I absolutely enjoyed messing with this when I brought it up inside a machine, and I actually found a super dope, kind of like what you were doing, but I started to utilize it as like an SP404 because I had it mapped to the knob. So while I was playing, I literally was doing everything live with different presets and different effects, and it was just, man, this thing is so powerful, bro. It's like you got 18 individual effects into one effect, and bro, I think that this is gonna take off. I'm excited.
That's a really cool use case though, actually. If you have like, yeah, say like, you know, 404 style, 4 different transits, and each is a different effect, and you're doing them live, and it doesn't have to be like a 0 to 100 transition, but you can do it with a rhythm or yeah, man, that's a cool use case.
Yep, bro, man, I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me. I'm so excited. I can't wait till folks get their hands on this and see what all they create. And somebody like yourself, man, I can't wait to see what you come up with either, man. It's gonna be dope.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm excited to hear what everybody does with it.
Awesome. All right, bro. Well, thank you again. And if you need anything, just hit me up, bro.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, man.
All righty.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.